जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी. There are different men are singing different lines, women are different. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Turn the lights on. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yamunatiravanachari. Yamunatiravanachari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yamunatiravanachari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajakaacharya Ashtottara Shatashri Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 2, The Activities of Maharaj Agnidra, Text 12. Lokam pradarshaya suhritama tavakam me yatratya itham urasavayava vapurvau. Asmadvidhasya mana unnayanna vibhrati. Baho adbhutam sarasarasa suhadivakrate vaktre. In one sense, it's good that it's difficult to recite these verses. Lokam pradarshya suhritam tavakam me yatratya itham urasavayava apurvau. Asmadvidhasya mana unnayanau vibharti. Bhavadbhutam sarasarasa suhadivaktre. Ladies, please. Okay. Lokam, residential place. Pradarshaya, please show. Suhrittama, O best of friends. Tavakam, your. Me, unto me. Yatratyaha, a person born wherein. Itham, like this. Urasa, by the chest. Avyavau, two limbs or breasts. Apurvau, wonderful. Asmat vidhasya, of a person like me. Manaha unnayanau, very agitating to the mind. Bibharti, sustains. Bahu, many. Adbhutam, wonderful. Sarasa, sweet words. Rasa, amorous gestures like smiling. Sudha adi, such as nectar. Vaktre, in the mouth. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So I'm going to read up to 16 and bring this courtship to an end. O best friend, will you kindly show me the place where you reside? I cannot imagine how the residents of that place have gotten such wonderful bodily features as your raised breasts, which agitate the mind and eyes of a person like me who sees them. Judging by the sweet speech and kind smiles of those residents, I think that their mouths must contain nectar. Purport. Still bewildered, Agnidhara wanted to see the place from which the Brahmana boy had come, where the men had such raised breasts. Such attractive features, he thought, must be due to the severe austerities performed there. Agnidhara addressed the girl as Suhratama, the best friend, so that she would not refuse to take him there. Not only was Agnidhara captivated by the girl's raised breasts, he was also attracted by her sweet speech. Nectar seemed to emanate from her mouth, and therefore he was increasingly surprised. Text 13. My dear friend, what do you eat to maintain your body? Because you are chewing betel, a pleasing scent is emanating from your mouth. This proves that you always eat the remnants of food offered to Lord Vishnu. Indeed, you must also be an expansion of Lord Vishnu's body. Your face is as beautiful as a pleasing lake. Your jeweled earrings resemble two brilliant sharks with unblinking eyes like those of Vishnu. And your own eyes resemble two restless fish. Simultaneously, therefore, two sharks and two restless fish are swimming in the lake of your face. Besides them, the white rows of your teeth seem like rows of very beautiful swans in the water. And your scattered hair resembles swarms of bumblebees following the beauty of your face. Purport. The devotees of Lord Vishnu are also his expansions. They are called Vibhinnamsha. Lord Vishnu is offered all kinds of sacrificial ingredients, and because devotees always eat prasada, the remnants of his food, the scent of sacrificial ingredients emanates not only from Vishnu, but also from the devotees who eat the remnants of his food or the food of his devotees. Agnidhara considered Purvachitti an expansion of Lord Vishnu because of the pleasing scent of her body. Aside from that, because of her jeweled earrings shaped like sharks, because of her scattered hair resembling bumblebees mad after the scent of her body, and because of the white rows of her teeth which resembled swans, Agnidhara compared Purvachitti's face to a beautiful lake decorated with lotus flowers, fish, swans, and bumblebees. Text 14. My mind is already restless, and by playing with a ball, moving it all about with your lotus-like palm, you're also agitating my eyes. Your curling black hair is now scattered, but you're not attentive to arranging it. Are you not going to arrange it? Like a man attached to women, the most cunning wind is trying to take off your lower garment. Are you not mindful of it? Purport. The girl Purvachitti was playing with a ball in her hand, and the ball seemed like nothing but another lotus flower captured by her lotus-like palm. Because of her movements, her hair was loose, and the belt holding her cloth was giving away, as if the cunning wind were trying to make her naked. Yet she paid no attention to arranging her hair or fixing her dress. As Agnidhara tried to see the girl's naked beauty, his eyes were very agitated by her movements. Text 15. O best among those performing austerities, where did you get this wonderful beauty that dismantles the austerities performed by others? Where have you learnt this art? What austerity have you undergone to achieve this beauty, my dear friend? I desire that you join me to perform austerity and penance, for it may be that the Creator of the universe, Lord Brahma, being pleased with me, has sent you to become my wife. Purport. Agnidhara appreciated the wonderful beauty of Purvachitti. Indeed, he was surprised to see such exceptional beauty which must have been the result of past austerities and penances. He therefore asked the girl whether she had achieved such beauty just to break the penances and austerities of others. He thought that Lord Brahma, the creator of the universe, might have been pleased with him and might therefore have sent her to become his wife. He requested Purvachitti to become his wife so that together they could perform austerities and penances in family life. In other words, a suitable wife helps her husband perform penances and austerities in household life if both of them are on the same elevated platform of spiritual understanding. Without spiritual understanding, husband and wife cannot be equally situated. Lord Brahma, the creator of the universe, is interested in good progeny. Therefore, unless he is pleased, one cannot get a suitable wife. In fact, Lord Brahma is worshipped in marriage ceremonies. In India, even today, wedding invitations are still issued with a picture of Lord Brahma on the face of the card. Text 16. Lord Brahma, who is worshipped by the Brahmanas, has very mercifully given you to me, and that is why I have met you. I do not want to give up your company, for my mind and eyes are fixed upon you and cannot be drawn away. O woman with beautiful raised breasts, I am your follower. You may take me wherever you like, and your friends may also follow me. Purport. Now, Agnidra frankly admits his weakness. He was attracted to Purvachitti, and therefore, before she could say, quote, "But I have no business with you," he expressed his desire to be united with her. He was so attracted that he was ready to go anywhere, hell or heaven, in her company. When one is absorbed in lust and the influence of sex, one surrenders to the feet of a woman without reservations. Srila Madhvacharya remarks in this connection that when one engages in joking and talking like a crazy person, one may say anything and everything, but his words will be meaningless. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chaksur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I don't have anything to say in this conversation that Agnidra is having with Purvachitti. But we can appreciate something that he is describing her bodily beauty. And she is gifted with, I guess, very attractive features, a very attractive physical form, and the quality of sweet speech. Now, generally, these qualities come by because of previous karmic piety. One who has good piety or karmic credits, in the next life, they get a good body, a healthy body with good features, beautiful eyes. Here is describing nice bodily structure, round hips, whatever, etc., etc. And some people get one or two of them, not everything. So they may have good eyes but bad teeth, or bad eyes, whatever. So in this case, because Purvachitti is from a heavenly planet, where all or many pious credits manifest for her. She is a perfect 10 in that sense. So he's glorifying that. Now, as devotees, we're not interested in Purvachitti, I hope. Our interest is in beauty, because beauty emanates from Krishna. Krishna is the source of beauty. And so whatever we see in this world as beautiful, Krishna describes that, my dear Arjuna, this is but a spark of my splendor. This is the end of the 10th chapter. He says, whatever fantastic, glorious and beautiful that you see in this world, O Arjuna, is nothing but a tiny spark of my splendor. So Krishna's beauty is indirectly being described here, at least that's my appreciation, that it's being indirectly described here. Actually, all of these wonderful features are Krishna's. Beautiful lotus-like eyes, captivating eyebrows, sweet smile, perfectly arranged teeth, earrings that are like shark-shaped earrings. This is how Lord Krishna is also described or glorified. A smile that removes all distresses from the heart. Unfortunately, because we are conditioned souls, we unknowingly, this was Gokulananda Prabhu's class the other day, we unknowingly look for the same relationship with Krishna in this world. We look for the same beauty, the same opulences of Krishna that we appreciate in our constitutional nature. We look for the same thing in our conditioned state of existence. And we appreciate it. So we are indirectly attracted to and appreciating Krishna, unknowingly. Maybe even unwantingly, but we're appreciating something of this world. Krishna's bodily features, the threefold bending form, is called Tribhanga. We glorify that. We glorify Krishna's perfectly formed features. It's not material energy who's forming Krishna's features. That is Krishna's constitutional identity. That he is beauty personified. In fact, beauty comes from him. So when we see something beautiful in this world, for a conditioned soul, the first response is to enjoy it. In this case, taking Agnidhra as an example, he is glorifying it for his enjoyment. And he's flattering her so she may give herself for his enjoyment. As devotees, when we see beauty, our appreciation is how wonderful Krishna is. How beautiful Krishna must be. That our aspiration may be to see the actual beauty of Krishna. Like in the Ishopanishad, there is this verse, Hiranmayena patrena satyasya pihitam mukham. Is the ardent prayer of a devotee, the my dear Krishna, please remove this dazzling effulgence of yours. So the dazzling effulgence has two features. For the conditioned soul, the dazzling effulgence is the dazzle of material energy that keeps Krishna invisible to us. Naham prakasha sarvasya mudhoyam yogamaya samavrita mudhoyam nabhijanati. So this dazzling effulgence of Maya keeps Krishna hiding from us. And so we get captivated by the dazzle. And like in English, I guess there was this, when I was young, one of the things about English literature was, as soon as you said, I'm reading English literature, they would say, all all that glitters is not gold, like that. I think a Shakespearean statement. So all that glitters is not gold. Meaning there's so much glitter in the material energy, but it's not the genuine thing. It's the illusory potency. And for the little bit more spiritually advanced, that glitter or the dazzle is the Brahman effulgence that still hides Krishna as a person. So this devotee is praying, let me not be bewildered by the material energy or by the Brahman effulgence. Please let me see you as a person, face to face, so that I can appreciate in this world the manifestation of beauty as sourced from you. Now, this is important for devotees to be able to always see everything in connection with the source of things. When we forget the source, then we fall into this trap of thinking something existing independently of Krishna. Whether it is beauty, wealth, intelligence, gifts or assets or abilities. Each one of us has certain abilities. Each one of us has certain gifts. Each one of us, I can't say each one of us has. Some of us has wealth. Some of us have the power for being austere. Some of us have the power or gift of being creative, artistic, whatever these are, organized. They're all sourced from Krishna. And so when we appreciate each other's qualities this way, then it's important to appreciate it in reference to the source. It is so nice to see how Krishna has empowered you to do this service. It is so nice to see how Krishna has gifted you with this quality. It is so nice to see how Guru and Krishna have empowered you to do something like this. That appreciation actually helps the other devotee. It helps us, of course. It helps us this way, that our vision is clear, that it is Krishna's, Guru and Krishna's mercy. It also helps the other devotee or devotees in remembering where everything is coming from. And it's also helping the other devotees appreciate how they're receiving Krishna's descending mercy. But if the appreciation is made without Krishna in reference, then the fault is in us that either we are not seeing it that way, or we unknowingly put the seed that someone might think that it is happening independent of Krishna. Even when we see the people of the world, there are many people out there who are more artistic than the group of us here. They're more eloquent in their speech than the group of us here. And it's not that we don't appreciate the people of the world. Oh, we're not supposed to appreciate the karmis. That's correct. We're supposed to appreciate how they're being endowed by Krishna's potency. It is unfortunate that they may not be using it in Krishna's service. And as a devotee, we wonder, how can they also utilize that which has come from Krishna for Krishna's service? This is the thinking of a devotee. So that's important as we're reading all these bodily features and lotus-like, lake-like face of Purvachiti and confusion between whether it's a boy or a girl and all of that. There's a beauty of Krishna. And this beauty of Krishna, part of his potency, does bewilder a person. So we'll talk a little bit about bewilderment. Bewilderment, by definition, means unable to see reality, unable to understand the facts, confused, if you will. And the confusion is that there is a picture of reality and I see something other than that. And the discord or the seeing things differently comes because of what's the right word? Because of confusion within my consciousness. A pure devotee's consciousness, because it's clear, they can see things as they are. They are said to be in true knowledge. And we see things different from what they are is because we don't have true knowledge or pure knowledge. And that ingredient that distorts the picture is lust. Or in English we say material desire. As long as there is material desire in the heart, whether it is manifest material desire or not yet manifest material desire, or the seed-like, or the tendency, this is from Nectar of Devotion, right? As long as that is there, that material desire in its subtle form will distort picture of reality for us. So as conditioned souls, we are operating with distorted pictures. And the only way to get the correct picture is through Shabda Brahman. It's to hear from those who have the right picture. Upadekshitite jnanam jnaninaha tattvadarshinaha. The tattvadarshis see the right picture, we see the distorted picture. So the way to remove this lust or material desire is by proper inquiry, proper submission and seva. Now from the purports, some things to think about is he is glorifying first, among other things, he is glorifying that from her mouth is emanating very pleasing perfume. And there are two understandings of this pleasing perfume. One is that there is nectar emanating from her mouth in the form of sweet speech. So sweet speech is very pleasing to the heart. And the whole of the script, the whole of Bhagavatam, the whole of the Vedas, if you will, especially the Puranas or the Stotras, they are sweet speech of a devotee. And by that sweet speech, they give Krishna's heart immense pleasure. In fact, it's described that even if the Brahmanas are reciting Vedic hymns that glorify Krishna's greatness, and if a devotee is chanting his name or glorifying Krishna's activities, Krishna prefers to be where that devotee is than where the Brahmanas are simply reciting Vedic mantras. Because by speech, within speech is the capacity to connect with someone's heart. Therefore, glorification of Vaishnavas, glorification of Krishna is a very important feature. It's part of Kirtanam. Now, speech can also be flattering, which I keep harping about. Flattery is not helpful. It doesn't connect with the heart. It gets, I guess, from a mundane perspective, it gets things done. One can get favors from others, but it's not deep, it's not real, it doesn't last. Another aspect of the perfume emanating from her mouth is, Prabhupada talks about the Vaishnavas, that those who eat prasadam of Krishna, I'm going to read it, it's very nicely said here, I don't want to. Yeah. The devotees of Lord Vishnu are also his expansions. They are called Vibhinnamsha. Lord Vishnu is offered all kinds of sacrificial ingredients, and because devotees always eat prasada, the remnants of his food, the scent of sacrificial ingredients emanates not only from Vishnu, but also from the devotees who eat the remnants of his food, the food of his devotees. So we may be walking around smelling like pakoras. Well, that's from the Mahaprasadam. But the sacrificial ingredients, the fragrance of the sacrificial ingredients means a Brahmana who performs proper Vedic sacrifice, there is a fragrance of the fire, of the ingredients, of the ghee, etc., versus scent of places that they have been to. Like materialists go to places where the scents are so bad that they have to artificially do something to remove that smell. When they smoke, for example, or drink alcohol, then they have to eat chewing gum or spray breath freshener or mouth freshener, whatever, to remove. Otherwise, as soon as they open their mouth, everyone's like, oh. Or garlic and onions and foods that are smelly. Or places that they have been to. Just by nature that they are unclean, they have to have perfume and all of that to remove to hide the odors of such activity. However, it says Brahmanas and devotees, because they are engaged in the service of the Lord, they smell like pakoras, because that's what they're doing. They're either cooking for the Lord or they're smelling of the incense that they have used in serving Krishna. Every morning, the pujaris, we dab the flowers, because these are flowers from Colombia or American or whatever. They don't have fragrance. So we have to dab these flowers with fragrance. And our fingers are smeared with that fragrance. And whether we know or not, we're adjusting our cloth like this, or wash our hands and wipe our hands. However, the cloth has that fragrance. Either of incense, if you hold incense, fingers get marked with the little saffron color and this fragrance of the incense, etc. Just by nature of serving Krishna. It's not the person is thinking, little for Krishna, little for me, not like that, but it's just there. That's what Prabhupada is talking about. That the Vibhinna Amshas, like Krishna, the devotees also get the features and qualities and things that belong to Krishna. The principle is that when one is serving some master, the servant enjoys literally on the same platform as the master. We also get to eat, the grand food that Krishna gets to eat. We also get to live in the same place that Krishna is living, etc. I think that it comes. It comes along with one of the perks of serving is that we're in the same platform or the same environment as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then he's describing her face like a lake and all that. I'm going to avoid that. Now he's expressing that Purvachitti's beauty has the potency of breaking someone's austerity and penance. What it means, we know from history, many sages, or even very well-situated sages, even their austerity and penances have been disturbed by the beauty of damsels, if you will. Now, it's not that the women are Maya. What it means is that the importance put on the pleasure coming from austerity versus the pleasure coming from a bodily conception of life. The two different pleasures Later in the book, Lord Rishabdev is going to tell his sons, Tapo divyam putraka yena sattvam, shuddheti asmat. The engagement, or by the engagement in transcendental austerity, one experiences Brahma Saukyam, spiritual happiness. And if one is distracted from that, then one is attracted to material happiness. Both are not of the same category. Both are very different. But it's what one gives importance to. If one gives importance to material happiness, then that becomes attractive. And if one gives importance to spiritual happiness, then that becomes attractive. It's the adjustment is in our consciousness. What is it that I am giving importance to? Srila Yamunacharya, in his Stotra Ratna, which Prabhupada quotes a few times, is his declaration, Yad avadhi mama cheta krishna padara vinde navanavara dhamni rantumasit. That more and more as I am getting connected, the more and more I am relishing the pleasure from Krishna's lotus feet. He says, Nari sangame smaryamane. When I think of the material happiness which is personified by union with a woman, bhavati mukha vikaraha sushtu nishtivanam cha, that my lips curl in distaste and I spit at that thought. He's comparing the difference in happiness between material or sense gratification and the happiness from service. That's the higher taste. That's the higher taste that the human form of life is meant to pursue. Now Prabhupada says he's requesting Purvachitti to become his wife, and he knows Lord Brahma has sent you here for fulfilling my desire. So I had this desire, and Lord Brahma is fulfilling this desire. And Prabhupada says Lord Brahma is worshipped in marriage ceremonies, and in the wedding cards, Lord Brahma is usually his picture is posted. I don't see that anymore. In fact, I didn't even know. Mostly they put Lord Ganesha's picture because they don't want any interruption in the wedding. Meaning the father doesn't want any interruption. He wants for sure the daughter to leave the house. And the husband wants to make sure that the girl comes to him. I'm joking, that's not the reason. Generally, Lord Ganesha is worshipped as the deity for removing material obstacles. But I did not know that Lord Brahma is worshipped because Lord Brahma wants to make sure that there is good progeny within this universe. And he blesses marriages. Now, Agnidra is admitting his weakness. Well, before that, Prabhupada gives us a nice principle. A suitable wife helps her husband perform penances and austerities in household life if both of them are on the same elevated platform of spiritual understanding. Without spiritual understanding, husband and wife cannot be equally situated. Therefore, a household life, if it is not centered around hearing, chanting, the deity, then that marriage becomes vulnerable to discord. It doesn't mean that the lecture is playing and there's a deity in the house and husband and wife are doing their own things. Not like that. That they are actively engaged in the process of hearing and chanting and serving the deity. Then both of them help each other perform or conduct a life of austerity and penance. Then they will build mutual appreciation for each other's austerity and penance. One of the greatest austerity and penance is to live with each other. So that itself they can appreciate. Wow. I'm joking, but you get the idea. And now Agnidra is admitting to his weakness. Before she says, see you later, he's asking her phone number. He's telling her, I would like to marry you. He's asking more than the phone number. He's saying things that people wouldn't say. So before she says, I have no business to be with you, he's admitting that I'm so captivated by your beauty that I'll go anywhere. Wherever you go, I'll follow you. In few verses before, he had called himself Mrigam Mrigayasa. That you have these eyebrows which are these bows, and they're meant for hunting. So he's admitting that I am the game. You can take me home. You take me wherever you're going. I'm going to follow you. That weakness, Prabhupada's describing characteristics of such weakness. That weakness is that when one is absorbed in lust and the influence of sex, one surrenders to the feet of a woman without reservations. That a person will not think clearly. He will say things that are very foolish. And Prabhupada, Srila Madhvacharya remarks that when one engages in such joking and talking like a crazy person, one may say anything and everything, but his words will be meaningless. So one of something to remember is when governed by lust, one will say things that are meaningless. Now, lust is not just sexual, but lust means when one gives undue importance to material desire, one will say things that they don't mean. They will make commitments that they don't mean. They will express appreciations. They will express things that they don't mean. The Prabhupada says it's meaningless. Why are they meaningless? Because it's not in the words that they are saying that their attention is, it's in what they want to get at the end of that exchange. I have a material desire and I will do anything to get that. And if it means I have to say yes to something, I'll say yes to something. If it means I have to say no to something, I'll say no to something. But that's artificial. It doesn't matter. I want to get that material desire fulfilled. And so Prabhupada is saying, one talks like a crazy person, he may say some things but has no meaning. The corollary is important, that we should say words that we mean. And if we don't mean something, then we shouldn't say it. We also just don't say what we mean. That's also dangerous. But we should say the truth. We should say the truth, and we should become mature enough. The responsibility lies with us to become mature enough to know what to say, when to say, how to say, without being here it says without being meaningless. So those are thoughts across a few sets of verses. We're done with the whole courtship. And Shukadeva Goswami will speak and we'll move on. Any comments, questions, Ashraya Prabhu?
I like this section. It was very challenging, but I guess I like challenges. So. It was nice that you brought out the aspect of how we can appreciate Krishna or become more attracted to Krishna when we recognize that we're attracted to something that's coming from Krishna, and we make that connection to that. I, for myself, discovered something very powerful, that when we're reading these things, it's just akin to what you were already expressing, seeing where it's coming from. And, Srila Prabhupada is the one who's translating and writing this and giving the purport, so obviously his desire is not for us to become, disturbed and sexually attracted or something. Right. And reading like that, that's the effect that comes across, for me at least. If we read it, this is coming from Srila Prabhupada. It's not like a Playboy magazine or something. It's Prabhupada. Or, whatever, Maitreya Muni or something, but Prabhupada's a lot closer than Maitreya Muni. So that's what I felt. And so, like you said, seeing it in connection to where it's coming from. In that way also, the purpose of it becomes more clear. And I was thinking, even in life, why does Krishna put these things here? Is it because he wants us to enjoy? It's not in the ultimate issue. He wants us to learn more things, like you said about him, a spark of his splendor, or another aspect. The other side of it is, this is not real happiness. He's just totally bewildered here. All these things are like ridiculous things that he's saying, and reading it like that, you can see. It's just silly, it doesn't attract, it's not attractive, it's just ridiculous. So anyway, appreciation of what you said, and the other side of it too, that I felt was advantageous.
Vyasadeva is writing all of this in his mature realization. So when we read these things, it's not that it's to become disturbed, it is to understand the symptoms of a bewildered person. Like, for example, let's take the real life example of a doctor. A doctor, let's say, has to examine a woman, and she takes off her clothes. It's not like, I don't know a particular doctor, but in general, the doctor is not like, oh, beautiful. He's looking at this organ, that he's very detached, supposedly, very detached from the whole thing. And he's thinking about cure. So similarly, in one sense, the acharyas are writing not because it's pleasurable, but they are giving us all the symptoms and all down to the wire things that we can look at. And if in our life we are in such situations, or in the lives of others in situations, there's something to say, oh, I recognize that. These are symptoms that I've heard about, and that's bewilderment or whatever it describes. Otherwise, why would verse after verse Vyasadeva he could have said Agnidhara was bewildered and moved on. But he's describing the bewilderment because those details are stark. Someone else had their hand up? Jitendra Prabhu and then Rasa commentary.
I was always kind of, whenever I saw this chapter in the Bhagavatam, I was always wondering how people would express it, But you did a very nice job. I was also thinking, the Yadabar series of following Srila Prabhupada, it was New York, Rath Yatra in 1976, and Tripurari Swami was doing the narration. And he was talking to Srila Prabhupada, and Srila Prabhupada says, look at all these beautiful women in New York. And Tripurari Swami said, wow, Prabhupada's talking like that. Well, he's a sannyasi, I can't figure this out. And then Prabhupada said, because of this whole city of New York is going on. But you'll have to see it. He does a much better job of narrating it, But I thought that came to mind. Hare Krishna.
I want to express a little concern in the way Asha Prabhu was expressing the point, the second one, about this disgusting, or I can't remember the exact words, but for me that kind of throws in another red flag that it's another end of the same issue. no, this is nothing about you. I'm just expressing something else. So, using that kind of comment, or my thoughts go to that it is the other end of the same issue. Where it's an extreme end of the same issue versus looking at this cautionary points for ourselves, because material energy is so strong, like none of us can overcome it on our own, that we have to see and feel the dependence constantly, because any of us is susceptible to the same thing. And today somebody who's saying this, tomorrow can be in that position, and I personally have seen also where somebody who has said, and the next day he or she is in that position, and they just don't have control. And like this material energy is so strong that we should feel so strongly dependent versus feeling something else. I can, like an irritation.
Can you
or
verbalize
an anger.
what is it about his comment that's concerning?
To
Not
see,
his per se, but that the theme of the comment.
right, to see such a situation and feel like it's ridiculous, or to feel it is disgusting, or to feel like that about the situation, when instead I'm thinking that it's like, it's, for me, I'm processing it similar to say like, oh, women are attractive. That's one end of the thing, where somebody is constantly attracted to women, versus the opposite side, where they just don't know how to gauge themselves and to behave appropriately with women. That it's like, the snootiness, or the
Aversion.
That's it. There's the attraction, and then there's the aversion. That's the word. So
Do you want to respond?
So I wanted to express that perspective of feeling like that I'm hoping that I can always feel dependent, and people around me will tell me, like, you're messed up, and then I can fix myself. So that's my prayer. The second thing I want to ask is that so when we feel appreciation, it's easy for us to see where it's coming from. Like, in one sense, it's easier to see where it's coming from and to be able to trace that back to Guru and Krishna. Sometimes we see certain things that we can improve on. And what would be a nice way to see that properly? Not eliminating it, or not trying to observe it, but to be able to observe but see it also properly.
Himangi's been waving her hand because she heard something in the kitchen, so she walked up. I will not answer the second question. I'm sure she wants to say something about... I didn't even hear the question. You've been waving your hand so much, I couldn't... The fact that you came up, that itself was like something, so go ahead. Can you turn the mic on? Let the whole world hear.
Something similar to what line of what Rasika Manjari has been saying. Very often in the Shastras, in the scriptures, there is this description about women, but the men being weak. It's never, very rarely, I don't know, I've never heard till date, where a woman feeling weak because she looks at the physical form of a man. So my question is, even generally the lectures are the emphasis that if women sing loudly, it's a distraction for men. And somehow if women dance, it's a distraction for men. So sometimes I do get questions from women saying that, why this discrimination? Because they feel very disrespected. So it's very subtle. So how to address something like that? Like seems like the women are less distracted by the opposite sex than the men, because that's how I feel. Because many times I can tell the women's side, they do bring these concerns to me. They feel almost some lectures, they feel very extremely uncomfortable to even sit in the class. So I thought that since this discussion has been going, it is very important to address this. Like where there is a reality, where there is interaction between men and women, it can be disturbing, but at the same time, there should be some respect.
Are you asking or?
No, I'm both commenting and
Okay.
asking, both.
Your point is right. Your comments are totally right. Can I take a few more minutes? That's an important topic. And then we'll come back to your question. Then I can pay attention. And as soon as she walked in, I knew. So she heard. Okay. First of all, it's not that women are the cause of downfall. And it's not that without women, men would have been very happy in this world. It's not like that. It is the soul that is in this body or that body. And as devotees, it is difficult. It will be difficult if we cannot get beyond the bodily conception of things. So just because women sang or women were around, if that's the reason for getting disturbed, then Srila Prabhupada recommends that men go to the forest. Mother Dhanakeli sat here one time and recommended such persons to go to the forest. This is another time I took a concern. I didn't say take a concern. I consulted with her that there is a Mataji who does Mangalarti every morning, and some Prabhu couldn't sing Samsara Dava properly because the Mataji was interfering, that she's all over the altar. So Mother Dhanakeli, I asked her, you were the head pujari for many years. How did you deal with it? She said, ask him to go to the forest. So the idea is not this person, that person, this features of body and that features of body. It's not that women are not attracted to men. I disagree with that. It may be the nature of or the causes of attraction may be different. But there's attraction on both sides. It's a material world. But it seems like that there is inordinate weight of responsibility somehow on the women only, that they shouldn't do this or do that, and so it becomes, or it can get claustrophobic. It's not the case. Idea is that each one of us, especially the men, if you will, or women, to become dhiras. Dhira is, even in an undisturbing situation, to not be disturbed. Jai Jagannath Prabhu keeps telling me, he talks about there should be a culture by which the men and women understand how to interact with each other. Meaning, first of all, for brahmacharis, there need be no interaction with the women. And as far as possible, to minimize service with women, single men. But yet there will be services. It's not like we cannot have services. We need to train ourselves, men, women separately, train ourselves, that the fact that if you're already paying too much attention to, oh, there's a woman, wow, that's danger, then we're already starting it in the wrong way. We're starting from a default condition where the absorption is from the bodily conception of life. We're starting there. So as a response to that, there is this, separation or segregation. But that's not how we live, because, the brahmacharis in the temple, now I'm going to pick on the Prabhus here for a moment. The brahmacharis in the temple, if the Matajis are there, oh, I'm disturbed, I cannot talk to them, or Rasik Manju is using those aversion things. The same brahmacharis will go out and distribute books and dance in Harinam, and the women will come and meet. And when we are giving a book, we're not saying, oh, there's a beautiful woman, I think I should approach her with a book. Nobody thinks like that. It's Lord Chaitanya's mission. But at that time, that's a karmi women who we're talking to. But at home, devotee women, we're like, no, that's Maya. I mean, that doesn't make sense. Not that they are like that, I'm just saying such mentality doesn't make sense. It's important to know that how we perceive each other is very important. And similarly for women. So I guess to speak it more concisely, there is the environment should be of respect. Respect and respect, as Maharaj says. So I'm going to repeat those words. The men look at the women as mothers and respect them. They're mothers. And the women look at the brahmacharis and respect their sons. They're trying something. So we maintain our distance as far as possible. And the men say we maintain our distance as far as possible. And when there is need for service, there's need for service. Very simple as that. But we don't lose respect for each other. Meaning we don't get into frivolous, unnecessary conversations or interactions. Not necessary from either side. But when service is there, service is there. If we have the luxury of 50 brahmacharis here and 50 grahasthas there, and I'm using the word 50 to mean lot, then the chances for one brahmachari interacting with another Mataji may become even less. But we don't have that. We don't have that luxury right now. We have, and it's not that our services are fewer. You ask Daita Prabhu, how long is your list of services that need to happen? I mean, it's a long list. If you put down everything that needs to happen, it's a long list. And it will be a place where we are in the same place at the same time. And we cannot be disturbed by that. If that's what is disturbing us, something is fundamentally wrong in our understanding of Krishna consciousness. Something's wrong. Meaning the aversion is a knee-jerk response to the attraction that we've brought in with us. So in the beginning that may be okay, but that's not the operating environment. That's not the operating environment. It's unhealthy. It's unhealthy in the long run if, responding to your comment, it's very unhealthy in the long run if those who are brahmacharis knowingly or unknowingly are putting out the message that we don't respect women. I mean, that brahmachari means one who respects women. That's by definition. Because a person who doesn't respect women will exploit women. So it's important for our brahmacharis to learn how to respect them. And that respect can be from a distance and should be from a distance. But not like that. I know, I've seen with my own eyes. I'm using this as a wrong example. One brahmachari walked up to the Matajis with the tulasi lamp and realized I should not be around the women. Come on. I mean, that is, just keep it there. Where Prabhupada's stand is, just keep it there and walk away. What is this? It's like you're a bad disease or something. But But the same Prabhu will walk through the Matajis for the flower or something. Sometimes. Or somebody from this side may say something which, however, but the point is, being respectful is very important. Internally respectful, not just the words of it. And respectful doesn't have to translate into, I can't be in the same room as, of course we shouldn't be in the same room alone, but the point is I can't be in the same room as women because it bothers my mind. Very well, you need therapy then. It would be nice if Jai Jagannath was here to get some of the things that he's dealing with from the Prabhu's side, to give a perspective. He's not here, so.
Maybe some kind of Ishtagoshti.
Fine.
Because
he asked me, what are the guidelines? And I told him, you put together the guidelines that I'd like to see.
See, one thing I want to clarify is I'm not into this feministic, thing where, women, but at least I want to openly bring this topic up because there has been an increase in growings, and not from one individual but multiple individuals where Matajis have expressed this concern. Mm-hmm. And it shouldn't be a place where, the Matajis feel uncomfortable too while serving. And at the same time, the brahmacharis also should not feel uncomfortable serving. So
correct.
Maybe something needs to be done as an Ishtagoshti, guidelines or something, so everybody is very clear.
Sure. You want to say something on this topic?
I was thinking of a thing that happened about 2 years ago, and Prithu Shrava went to India to get an operation on his jaw. Do you remember that? And then Donna Cayley was going to Minneapolis, and I said, because the women's ashram was completely empty, except for Kirtita, I think, and I said, well, why doesn't she just stay here? And he goes, this is no place for a woman. And I was really kind of shocked by that, But that was Donna Cayley's, choice to go to Minneapolis instead of staying here. But, whatever the
We don't know all the reasons for that comment, so can't say.
Well, the way he said it, it was emphatic, But that was Prithu Shrava.
Now to your question. Because I didn't even hear what you asked.
Oh, that's okay. I can ask later.
Okay.
8:45.
Fine.
Thank you.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Turn that thing up, otherwise when you bend down, so the whole world gets to see the back of the Acharya Nistalas.